everyone, welcome back to The Wave. If you're just joining us, you're hitting play at the perfect time because this is part 2 of our sit down with Matt Gold of DAG Industries. We left things on a high note last time, so we're getting straight back to the exhaust notes. Let's welcome back to the show, Matt Gold.
Yeah. That brings up another thought is recently a Chinese company entered MotoGP motorcycles and won.
Yes.
And it blew people's minds. Not the
Yeah.
tangent, but it's like, okay, what is happening over there? Like, all of a sudden, are we going to maybe start seeing Chinese cars? You know, like, how far off are we from automotive motorsports where a Chinese company enters F1?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not far off. I think.
Am I wrong?
I think
Yeah.
it's completely possible, and they've been building. They
could do it.
The stuff that we see come out of China is the typical, knockoff stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that they are building that's actually quite potentially.
It's going to be the Uberu. It's definitely not a
Listen,
Impreza.
Do you remember in the early days when China started making their own cars that looked exactly like everyone else's cars?
Okay.
And they were just numbers?
Anybody listening to this, these videos are on YouTube still. If you just look up all of the Chinese replicas,
God, yes.
dude, the
They're
videos
horrible.
are amazing because they
had a
copied-
Honda. It was called the HONDAAH.
Well, remember
Honda
the
Hawk.
X5? Remember the BMW, the X5 that they built?
Yeah.
It was like the something B57834, right?
Yep.
And then BMW sued them because they were like, "Hey, that looks exactly like our car," and they were like, "Well, but these like 18 parts are not the same, and that's just enough to not count."
So
Yeah, it was a big middle finger to them.
So you know what I found out
What they did.
when I was looking at all this? So China can like basically replicate anything they want.
Yes,
Because when
we
they
make it there.
Well, this is what's crazy, right? The Chinese government is responsible for pursuing the people for copyright infringement. But they're making replicas of Land Rovers and giving them to the Chinese government. So the Chinese government is like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not a Land Rover.
Like that's also the same reason why we won't see them in America because
automotive scan
policy.
tools. Yeah, launch scan tools. They're Chinese. They got sued by Snap-on years ago because
they're stealing the software
rights. They bought a Snap-on scan tool and they just full retail and they just reverse engineered it.
Yeah,
and stole everything. And
that's like Alltel.
And the best part was
did the same thing.
Snap-on tried to sue them. And here's the irony: they lost because they lost in a Chinese court. Like Chinese court was like, we see no problem here. You know, like.
Yeah.
That was the irony of it. And so launch is still around. Autel's still around. The only thing that's changed now is because of mandates, they're starting to cut features out.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's funny. I had an Autel scanner at one point, right? And no, God, no. And that was the thing that actually my tool guy told me. He goes, now that you have it, he goes, is doing all the features that you want. He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah. He's like, never update it. I'm like, why? He goes,
yes.
Because every time they do an update, they're either removing the feature that they got, flagged for, and then they add a different feature until they get flagged. And then so it was just, I was just bouncing around. So I said,
bought an old Autel for that reason.
Yeah.
I bought one that was unupdated specifically.
Oh my God.
I just kept my Snap-on scanner after I closed down. So,
but even the Snap-on scanners can't do certain things. We shamelessly have the Subaru SSM 4 and 5, which is the new one for the Subaru Select Monitor. We have the factory software. Here's the
opened up another plug for me.
There's certain things that we cannot do, and they will not let us do.
Okay, well, guess what? Here's where I need to tell you and your listeners that you need to jump on the SEMA train. If you didn't see, I was actually down in DC in the beginning of May with SEMA and PRI on Capitol Hill, fighting for that exact problem right there. Your right to repair, right? We need the ability to get that freaking software on that scanner so that we can access it, right? I
Amen.
literally sat down in these rooms, right? And some of the guys that I sat down in there, right? Some of the legislators that we sat down with, or well, at least their, you know, their assistants and stuff, when they heard the fact that like you've got guys out there that are doing stuff and they can't, like, hey, I need to do the brakes on this car. Well, my scan tool won't allow me to do it because I didn't pay Mitchell On Demand or Snap-on the factory key code to say that I'm
Monthly
a
subscription.
garage. Thanks,
Yep.
Ford, to
Yep.
do that,
Uh-huh.
right? And so yeah, so I was down there for that. I was actually down there plugging HR 7979 because that's actually opening public use land for Rally.
Thank you.
What do you know? And so, and that's exactly why I was super grateful to be able to go down there and do that. And this is the kind of stuff though that they're actively fighting for. And while I was down there, one of the coolest things that I learned, right, the director of the EPA was there, Lee Zeldrin. He literally told us, he goes, guys, now is the time to push because you have somebody in office who hears what you're saying and wants to fix it. Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
The diesel stuff, the DEF fluid stuff, that's in the works of going away. That they're getting
He's
rid
listening.
of that DEF sensor, and it's actually, believe it or not, it's actually coming from farmers. They actually have found that farmers have been the biggest push to get rid of the diesel exhaust fluids because it was literally killing their tractors mid-harvest.
Crazy.
So they were literally like the farmers were going down there going, you need to get rid of this stuff. And so now the mandates are getting rid of a fluid sensor for the DEF. And instead they're just basically going to make it so that if it runs out of DEF fluid, it's still going to run and it's not going to, do all those other things. So
From an
and then-
industrial farming standpoint, that makes total sense. I mean,
Yeah.
that you can't just shut a piece of our infrastructure rather off.
Correct. Well, and
You know,
it was also affecting
imagine
the
if
truckers.
The lights just shut off because of DEF, Oh, yeah. Your local electrical company, they ran out of DEF fluid, so they have to shut off your lights for 2 days.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
The supply was late. It's coming in. We're getting it fixed. We
getting
know it's
backfired.
getting it fixed. Obviously, we have to get it fixed. That doesn't help us when our lights are off.
Right, exactly.
Matt, I worked on a brand new 2026 Nissan Rogue.
Why?
You have to do the rear brakes, you have to actuate the electronic brake in the rear to unclench the rotor.
Yes. Yeah, you have to do
Mhm.
that with
Yep.
any electric brake.
But
Yes.
they made it proprietary, so you have to have Nissan's computer system to do it.
And that's exactly why we're fighting for right to repair.
And dude, it's
Yes.
crazy. I know exactly what you're talking about. My tech, he forced it to open, and then after the rotor was out, it shut on him, and it was, and so then he was like, "Oh my god, what do I do?" We had to like figure it out because like, dude, the pistons just came all the way out. I was
Right.
like, oh my.
They're
So when
locked, dude.
when I had a shop, right, I had a 2015, right? This is how far back it goes, right? And ironically, with all of the nonsense going on with Ford right now, sorry, but it's just another notch in my post of not really liking them as a brand. I had this 2015 in the shop, needed brakes. Plugged my Snap-on scanner in. I'm not hooked up to my Wi-Fi with my Snap-on scanner. I plugged it in. I went into the brakes. Brake controller, rear brakes, maintenance mode, right? Which is supposed to release the pistons, right? I hit maintenance mode and it said, log into your Mitchell One account to verify your shop status. What? Why? Why do I need to do this? I had to
That's
log
where it's
in.
going.
I had to log in and then it verified that my Mitchell account, which is Snap-on, right, was actually registered to a legitimate business. And then it would allow me to put the brakes into maintenance mode.
Yep.
Why?
I had to do a software update on my mom's car. She called me years ago. She's like, "Hey, the dealer is telling me I had to do a software update, and they're going to charge me like $500." Like, "Ma, did you do it?" I was like, "She's like, no." I was like,
Good.
"That's why I called you." I was like, I'm going to see you in 2 weeks. It's Christmas week. I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm bringing my laptop, and I
I'll
got you."
fix it.
But the annoying part was, to your point, I had to connect my laptop to I had to do a hotspot for my phone. So my laptop could connect to the internet
Download.
and say, "Hey, he paid for this year.
Yep.
I have 365 days I can use this tool." That's it.
Yep. And that's why we're fighting for this stuff. And then
Mhm.
the other crazy thing that they're fighting for is actually the ADAS stuff, the driver stuff.
Yeah.
And honestly, after my wife's 26th Ascent tried to kill me the other week on the highway, I'm really glad that they're fighting to, fix some of that stuff and standardize it because ironically, with and if you didn't know about the lawsuit with Subaru and Eyesight,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm really hoping that they really come up with a standard for that stuff soon because, yeah, it wasn't fun having my car decide that it needed to panic stop and I didn't want it to.
You're talking about eyesight. How about the Foresters that are losing sunroofs on the highway? Yeah, how about that one? It's
That sounds more like a safety issue,
yeah,
kinda like when Porsche had those, windshields that just shattered while they were parked.
yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh!
BMW had that too with the sunroofs. They just parked
When
and the sunroof would just explode.
when
Yes.
I tell you
It's bad framing.
I was at work
Or it was
and
actually a tempering issue, BMW said.
I'm at work. I get the notification on my phone that says like Subaru recall on
Oh, no.
30,000 Foresters. And I was like, that's weird. I was like, let me see. And I like opened it up and it's like sunroofs are detaching and leaving the vehicle. I started dying, dude. I was cracking up. I was
Just
like,
that
well, the-
verbiage alone would make me die laughing.
My favorite part of the whole verbiage said it presents no safety to the driver itself.
Just
So
the people behind
is
you.
is the person behind the driver. So the car behind them, they're like a sunroof just
My
flew
God.
off, delaminated, and hit your windshield. Hey, but you're fine. You're fine.
You're okay.
Fine. Just keep
This is-
driving.
this is
Just
the
keep
problem.
driving. You're in a Subaru. Don't worry about it.
Listen, Matt, this is the scary thing. Subaru is so good at avoiding recalls because when you come in for maintenance, they just fix the problem and they never
And don't tell you about it.
they don't tell you about it. So it's scary that enough sunroofs have flown off of Foresters that the recall has gone through. I will tell you, I have been driving very carefully behind Foresters recently.
I'm just gonna start avoiding them. Oh shit, there's a Forester.
Hey,
I'm going this
if
way.
you have really good insurance, drive right behind them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Listen, I drive my Vivio a lot, and I really don't want to have to try and replace a 30-year-old windshield that nobody makes anymore.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I don't
That's
love
fair.
a 15-pound pizza box coming through my windshield. So I don't know about
It's
that.
not on my list of things that I want happening. 15
Oh my
pound
God.
pizza box.
I'll tell you, I had my old Hyundai. It had a sunroof that they pop up, and even though it goes,
Like an old normal one that just vented.
yeah, but then it slides back, but it stays up like that. So
Mhm.
I was
know.
driving down the highway and I heard something. I was like, what was that? I was like, that was weird. I get home, shut the sunroof. I didn't know it had spider cracked the whole thing. So the sunroof slides up and I see that it's completely cracked. And I was like, my God. And then the second that it went flat, it all just shattered down on me. And I was just like, oh, no. I have a picture that's iconic of me with a vacuum just in there, just vacuuming out my
Yeah.
sunroof. Like, oh my
That's
God.
what happened with the BMW customers, and you can imagine a bunch of these people were really upset. Like
Yeah.
they bought a premium luxury car, and their sunroof just rained down.
It's because they didn't pay the subscription fee for the non-bursting sunroof.
You're right.
Hey, good one. That's a great.
Hey, subscription fee is everything. It is life. You must pay.
It is life. It is life. I make fun of subscriptions, and yet I have subscriptions.
Yeah.
So
You know what,
Yeah.
dude? At this
No.
point, I always say like things are so different now. My parents didn't have to subscribe to 90 different, apps and everything. And it's like everything requires a payment. It's like things have gotten so fucking out of hand.
they have, but and in some cases though, I see a benefit to some of it. I also see the downfall. I also see why people don't buy them. But it depends on the valuation of what you're getting, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not going to pay $20 a month for spam callers to stop spamming me because it's probably the spammer who's spamming me and then not calling me because I paid him to not call me.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if I'm going to pay for a subscription that's going to give me entertainment and then more, that sounds like a pretty good deal to me. You
Yeah,
just have to make
yeah.
it just has to be worth their time.
It depends on what it is. I think like, if you get the value out of it, it makes it worth it. If you don't get the value out of it, then
Yep. That's a whole nother thing for
See,
nonsense that I
see, I
do.
guess the to your point, it's okay if I can buy a 99-cent song, so $1 song, and every album, let's say round number is 10 songs, so it's a $10 album, right? Let's say Apple iTunes, let's say old days. Well,
Well, they're gonna
okay,
charge you $12.95 per song on top of the dollar for the song.
yeah, but let's say it's a perfect world. It's just rough economics. It's $1 a song, 10 songs an album, so $10 an album. Well, okay, yeah, you know what? I'm probably gonna want to buy more than $10 a month.
Yeah,
On
but I
yeah,
buy more than
to
one
to
album a month.
build my album, right? And then I'll probably slow off. So I feel like the economics go. You know what? It is smart if I can pay $10 a month and I can have access to a library way larger than I would ever possibly ever buy. Now that starts to actually make sense, you know?
Right, right.
there's
And
yeah,
the other thing so one of the things for me, right? So I have subscriptions for my Patreon, right? And a majority of it is to go and either help me build more content. Two of my tiers of subscriptions actually put money directly into Full Send Foundation and things like that. But one of the long-term goals, we talked about the entertainment aspect of events, right? One of the things that my subscription stuff is going to pay for in the long term is if you're a member, you don't pay to come to an event when I start hosting them because your membership is what paid for it.
that's
So
awesome.
when I have an entire event and let's say I rent out Maple Grove Raceway for a weekend, right? And we do
Yeah,
a drag event, right? Any of the
Show
Patreon
up.
members that show up there, dude, if you're a Patreon member, show up. I have a list of everybody who's a member. Just show up, tell me your name. Hey, cool. Go have fun, man. Bye. It doesn't charge them anything to get in because their membership is what paid for that event to happen.
yeah,
They've
And
earned
that's
it.
right. They've earned it, right? And I've had people tell me, "Well, that's just wild. What about all the people in California?" Well, then I guess I'll put events in California too, right?
yeah,
Like I'm not trying to stay in one spot. I'm trying to build this brand into something massive.
yeah,
Well, I don't want to say
100%.
massive, right? Brian Scotto said it best. I'd rather matter a lot to a little than a little to a lot. Uh, and that really kind of set
So
how I wanted to structure everything. But one of my end goals was to basically make it so that if I start hosting events for the entertainment aspect, like Hoonigan Burnyard and stuff like that, those kind of things, I want it so that the people that are supporting me have no reason to not just show up.
yeah,
So, and that's where subscriptions, I think, have a benefit.
yeah. No, I agree with
agreed.
that. I wanted to just share with you very quick. This is from 2014. This is me and my sunroof.
God, the vacuuming.
Oh my god, this is old, but
You know what's even more better or wow, more better. You know what's even better about this photo? You literally should have had a video of you going, "Oh
yeah.
yeah," because you're wearing the Kool-Aid shirt.
Oh my god.
Who needs a
Yeah,
sunroof? Oh yeah, Kool-Aid.
yeah. I was cracking up like this is just ridiculous. And and like it sounded like a gunshot when it happened. Like
I bet.
it was like, rock full speed on the highway.
Which is entertaining because in contrast to that, my 2011 Hyundai Sonata, when the motor locked up while I was driving down the road, it made no noise,
Oh my gosh.
which that was a manufacturing problem.
Yeah. Well, Matt, I wanted to kind of ask you one more question here.
Yeah, we've been tangenting a lot.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Sorry, this is how it goes.
I don't care. I've told people several times, man. Because I've subscribed to Very Vehicular and Brian Scotto's podcast, and his podcasts are 2.5 plus. So I've said I'm a tangenter. I know how you feel.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, hit me with your question there, Pat.
In my opinion, I feel that when manufacturers were making cars to compete, they were making better cars for factory and for customers. We've kind of gone away from that. I feel like now they're making cars for customers and they're trying to like use it as a rally car. I mean, there's clips of Travis saying that he would be competing better, but the car is very heavy and it's not really riding on the dirt the way that some of these other rally cars are. And it just makes me think like, here we are. You could be competing you could be winning if you were designing a car for Travis that then translates into something that we all want. It's something that he likes. But
Wait,
instead,
you mean we should be building the cars like we did in the 80s and 90s?
dude, everything is so backwards now. I'm like, why are
Yes.
we like so I'm just like in my head, I'm like, why are we not building cars, right? The way that we used to, where we are grinding them, we're testing them, we're just making stuff that just looks cool for the event. And then we're like, what if we made this for everyone? Because
Right.
now people have seen it. Like, this is how Super got started. People saw them do cool and win events. And then people are like, I want to drive that. I want to feel that. And like
Yep.
now they're like, here's this thing that nobody asked for. And also we're going to make somebody drive it, even though they didn't ask for it. And like, maybe people will want it and we'll start buying it. And it's like, what? And
God, you hit the nail on the head.
so my question to you, Matt, is what do you think Subaru should have built for Travis that people would have wanted to buy?
Make cars fast again.
That's amazing.
Love it, David.
So I had to find it.
Ah.
Dave just brought
Okay, so
a
what-
shirt.
What should Subaru have built for Travis to make people want to buy?
I don't think the car that he is in is the car that he would have picked. Obviously, you look at look at the Brattaroo, right? You look at the Huckster. You look at the Air Slayer. These are all
It's
cars.
this. He wants
These are all-
this.
They, like
Well, so this is kind of okay. This is almost
Brother,
a multi.
cool again.
Well, yes, it's a multifaceted problem, though, right? The Huckster, the Air Slayer, and even the Brattaroo, right? These things are like so over the top performance, right? Which, ironically, my favorite aspect of all of this, right? That actually, you know what? Those are the cars that they should have been building, and you know why? They don't use an FA motor. They don't even use a 2.5 EJ motor. They're all 2 liters or 2.2 liters. I think there was only one 2.5, and I think that was the Huckster. Or maybe it was the Air Slayer. But they are using 2 liters. So your old ass 1990 to like mid 2000s EJ series type engine. That's what they're using. And
Yeah.
they just modify that to work, right? That's probably what they should be building. Instead, they're building, I mean, I like the fact that they're bringing back the STI. But don't get me wrong. I'm probably going to be one of those people that lines up to buy the whole Crosstrek STI thing. So the thing though that I think is like, so the STI is coming back, right? And I'll probably be one of the first people that turns around and buys into that, right?
Yeah.
Just because I want a newer STI.
I'm on the same boat. I feel you.
But in terms of what they should be building, yes, they definitely need to be building more performance-oriented cars instead of these, as the internet calls it, everyday traffic. There's so much everyday traffic now that cars are boring, right? Bring back flashy colors, bring back body kits, bring back, oh my God, I remember when Scion and Toyota were making silly accent lighting, which has ironically has come into even normal everyday traffic, right? You can buy a 26 Ascent that has like the cubby holes are like soft illuminated, and
Yeah.
when you open the door, there's a door light that shines on the ground and it says Ascent, and it like puts it, and it's like when we saw that, I was like, wow, I looked at my wife and I was like, that's cool as and she's like, why? And I'm like, I don't know. It's a door light. I don't know why I need to see what it just looks cool because they put the car there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like that's the kind of stuff that we've built to. We've slowly built in everything that used to come from the aftermarket into production. We're done with that. We've no longer decided that the aftermarket dictates what goes into the car.
Yeah.
Now the manufacturers are, like you said, they're just making essentially just basic dribble and pushing it off on us like, here you go, this is the best car. And you're like, no, I didn't want that. Why?
Yeah,
So yeah,
well-
I would say that they definitely need to be focusing more back to their performance roots. Bring back, honestly, bring back the EJs, right? It's been around for so long. You should have R&D'd the daylights out of it by now. By the time we got to the FA series, which don't get me wrong, the FA series has a good amount of potential. They are a little bit more stout on power. Having a timing chain versus a belt is phenomenally better for maintenance.
Yep.
You know, And as a whole, I think it's not a bad engine. I also don't think that the EJs were a bad engine either. Contrary to 97% of the internet out there that thinks that the EJ motors and all that stuff are junk, I still tell people all the time, no, it's the maintenance, it's the people that maintain them. They don't do it right and they blame the motor. And here we are, still telling people that head gaskets are a problem when that was a non-turbo thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that the performance aspect kind of tangented it a little bit there, but
No, I agree with
yeah,
you. I think that, like, in terms of
a
where
good manual
Subaru
transmission.
well, yeah. In terms of where Subaru came from, right? They made something over the top, and then they said, "Can we find a way to tone this down into a car that people would wanna drive every day?" And if you drive any of the 1 to, 2014 WRXs or STIs, you know that it doesn't
Mhm.
feel like a bougie, super fancy
God, no.
car. It feels fast. It feels light. It feels like you can hear the doors rattling. It feels like you can hear that
I
the
mean, I
radio
can hear the doors rattling.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The the radio system is not good. You know why? Because it wasn't meant to be good. Because it
No.
was meant to be a fast, good driving car with cool seats and cool wheels and a hood scoop. And that's
Yep.
what people bought because they thought, "Damn, that thing is sick and I could do a lot with that." And then, Fast and Furious and all the other influences, but I think that, like, at the end of the day, right? Like, Subaru has gone so far left field, I just don't even understand. And I think that, like, in my opinion, the 2015 model was them capitalizing on the Evo disappearing.
Because they
I
made it look like it?
I think that they were like, "We can steal the entire Mitsubishi market if we just make, like, a Evo-esque car." And I think that potentially it worked, I guess? I don't know. But,
It worked
like
it to some degree, and to the 98% of the internet out there,
yeah.
they hated it.
But then people, like, kinda caught on to it. They're like, Okay, we see what you're doing here." And then they came out with the 22 model, and people were like, "What? Like, we're making Honda Accords, and now there's no
And
STI, and why?"
I was just gonna
Like
say, then they pivoted to making an SI Civic knockoff.
yeah, it's just like, "What?" So, like, in my opinion, right, I hate jumping on the bandwagon. I hate when, all these companies out here are making all these videos about 3 boxes under tarps and saying how everything is gonna be something or the other, and, like, I never make videos about that stuff because I'm like, there's already 900 videos of people saying what Subaru is making in the dark,
Well,
with these
you don't make videos like that because you're not chasing clout.
yeah, and like my opinion is Subaru's gonna make what they're gonna make, right? Like it is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm just happy they're making manuals. But
God, yes.
but I think that, like, to be honest, whatever the WRX is under the tarp, I don't want to see it. I don't care. Whatever the BRZ is under the tarp, unless it's got some serious power to it, I don't care. I want to know what's in that 5-door, and I am gonna buy it. Whatever it is.
Dude, yes.
Because out of the 3 of them, that is the one, in my opinion, that they are testing on the track. They are seeing what it's doing. They are pushing it to its limits, and that is the car I wanna buy. I don't care
Yes.
about the other 2 cars that they just designed off of, like, what they think is, like, popular right now. Like,
Or they took the already production WRX and painted it yellow, and it was like, "Ah, it's a special edition."
yeah, it's like
Please.
it's
No,
like
it's not.
it's like, are you gonna buy a Louis Vuitton raincoat or are you gonna buy a Carhartt raincoat? You know what I mean? It's like one of them just looks really nice and probably is like kind of gonna keep you
Kind of
dry,
functions.
and then the other one looks like a raincoat. And guess what? It is.
And it is a raincoat.
I
Well,
think
and so you're not wrong, and that's why, like, when they put the new STI 5-door, which is, it's on their universal platform, so it's essentially it's a Crosstrek.
yeah, yeah,
Whatever. The Impreza Crosstrek thing has been a thing ever since they switched to the global platform anyhow. But the cool factor for that car is the fact that they literally made it exactly what you expected an STI to be. Big aero, wider flares, aggressive styling, That's what people wanted. And then it was funny because they paired it with their all electric thing next to it, and almost everybody was like, I don't know what the hell that thing is. I don't want it. I want that thing.
My gosh.
So
Yeah, I agree. I think that, like, trajectory wise, I like where that 5 door is going. I like that they've
100%.
previewed it. I like that they're racing it. I like that they're doing all the right things before making it.
Yes.
And like that's
I
what
will buy it.
makes me not have faith in the other two. And that's why I can't make a reel talking to everybody about how amazing these 3 cars are and how we're all so thankful, because I think that they're giving us 2 pieces of garbage and then this one thing that everybody's like, oh my God, here it is. It's like, I don't know. I feel like we've gotten so far away from the
Bring
pedigree. So
bring back the bug eye.
seriously, I had so many. I love bug eyes.
I mean, granted, from '02 to '07, they were all the same chassis, but
But also, like, this is the other thing. Why did they get away from, like, their thing? Which is every model difference. There's different headlights, different taillights. They're making it a different car. It's like, I feel like the 22 is so close to the 21 that, like, it's very much a different car, I'd say. It's sleeker and longer and, like, a little different, but, like, they didn't go totally in left field like they normally
I
do.
think all they decided to do was just try to make slight improvements instead
Yeah.
of doing how they like, some cars would have like the facelift model, right? You'd have the same basic chassis setup, the same basic everything, right? And then they would just change the style of the fog lights because the designer was like, I like that one, but I was half drunk when I did it. Now I want this one. So they redesigned it, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, between the bug eye and, like, I have a blob eye. I have an '04 WRX wagon,
Nice.
which I, rally, and that's my one of my other back burner projects right now. 235,000 miles, original trans, original engine. The only thing that's not original anymore is the turbo, but, that's because the seals blew out at 220,000 miles.
Man.
So, but yeah, and the replacement turbo that I got was used and it broke 10,000 miles later. So car's just sitting collecting dust, unfortunately, because videos are the thing now for me. But
Hey,
yeah, like that's where they need to go is back to, okay, here, it's a new model. Let's take this one and update it visually, but then also add in all of the performance bits that we learned with the previous one.
yeah. I think that in terms of like manufacturers, I think we're just seeing this like weird like split now where some of them are just on the EV train. We're making EV cars. I'm going this direction. And then some of them like Toyota are just like, we are going the totally opposite direction. And it's kind of crazy because Toyota is like the hybrid kings. Like
Yes.
in terms of what their bread and butter is and like what they've always succeeded at is like hybrid systems just work for them.
Well,
So
yeah.
so like I feel like it's interesting to see them kind of like double down on like not going in the EV sector as much, because I feel like Subaru is doubling down with all of the EV lineup that they've released in the last couple of years. It's just like I don't even know why they're going so far.
And well, I don't know why any of them are going so far now that the EV mandate's been redacted in almost every country worldwide.
That too, yeah.
And Toyota, I think, was the first one to basically not really ever push for it because they basically said from the beginning, they were like, well, if we need an electric car, we'll just make another hybrid. The hybrids are, in my opinion, right? Like, I don't have a problem with EVs. I think they have their place. They're great if you live in a city or have a commute of less than 50 miles,
Yeah.
and that's whatever. But if you want to drive a car, you need a gas car. But if you want to have an electric car, but you also want to not be limited to a range or limited on where you can fricking drive the stupid thing, you should look up the video of me basically all but running out of battery on a Tesla trying to chase rally in Tennessee. That was fun. Long story short, I added 7 hours to my weekend sitting at charging stations
Oh my gosh.
for 3 days. So yeah, but a hybrid would be where you go, right? I charge it up. A plug-in hybrid is the best thing ever, right? It's the
Yeah.
best of both worlds. Plug it in, drive that stupid thing electric all you want. In the city, man, I got to drive to the other side of the state. All right, well, gas mode.
Yep. Well, but Matt, how can you go uncharted if you don't break down in the middle of the woods in an EV car? Yeah. Like, yeah.
Listen, I almost did that with a borrowed Tesla. It was the best and worst experience of my life.
It's almost comical that they come out with a car named the Uncharted that runs on batteries.
I know.
It's just like you can't
Worst
go
name ever.
you can't go anywhere uncharted ever, because if you do, you will not be able to charge. It makes no sense. And not just
I mean, unless they're giving you a solar panel that's actually going to work.
that is what would make sense.
No. Do you remember the Fisker Karma? See why I'm saying I don't know if
Yeah.
that's a good idea?
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
I don't want my car catching on fire. You were worried about sunroofs earlier.
Yeah, you're right. And then once the sunroof comes off, the flames are coming in. You're just double slam. God.
Man.
Yeah.
But
Dude,
yeah, I mean, that's such a bad name for a car, especially for an electric car.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, honestly, even if there was that, right? There's the fact that being uncharted is also the fact that like that means that you're going places where no one exists. So you're inherently driving an electric car to a place where you can't just go get a gas station
There's no power.
or carry a gas station. And it's not like you can hot swap a car battery in those things anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's crazy. I don't understand it. I feel like we have Starlink at this point. Like, why don't we just have like AAA carrying like new car batteries? You know, like it's
Honestly, I mean, we were talking about China earlier and pioneering stuff. I mean, they have been trying to make an EV battery that you can eject and hot swap so that you could theoretically just drive to a battery swap station and they just pull out your battery, throw in a new one, and off you go. It's already charged. And because like that was the biggest thing, right? Like with the electric car, when I borrowed this Tesla to drive from Knoxville, Tennessee up to Johnson City for the Over Mountain Rally in 24, I drove the first hour and a half. I got halfway there. I had to stop at a gas station that had a supercharging station so that I could recharge the battery. I got to Johnson City. I watched the rally, but when I left the rally, I had 10% battery. Well, I had to drive an hour out of my way to get to a charging station because that's where the GPS told me that the closest charging station was. Well, the best part is that halfway through, and the GPS signal realized that that was not the best spot. It wanted me to turn around and go the other way, but I didn't have the battery to make it there. So I still had to drive the wrong direction for an hour. And then I had to sit there for 45 minutes to charge it from 10% up to 80%. And then an additional 45 minutes to go from 80% to 100. Why did I just spend 2.5 hours sitting in a gas station? That's dumb.
Yep.
Well, I could have just went in, taken a piss, and filled up and been out the door in 10 minutes. But hey, EVs are so great. But yeah. And that's why, like I said, if I was going to buy an EV, I would buy it for my daily commute to work, right? I drive an hour one way to work every day. That would be perfect. I could drive to work. I could drive home. I could plug the stupid thing at the end of the week and it would be fine.
Yep.
But if I'm going to drive to a rally, I'm going to take a gas car.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, I agree with you. I think that is the right solution. I think where we can start to wrap this up is, I don't know if you're aware, but Dave is running his Subaru Baja on canola oil. We've been doing this now for quite a while. And we always ask anybody who's been on the podcast, how long you think it would run on canola oil? Because right now, just to give you some kind of idea, this is a 230,000 mile Baja. It is 17 to 1,800 miles in on canola oil. They've only had to top it off. There's no metal in it. It is running totally fine. It just smells like French fries. And at the 3,000 mile mark, we are going to pull the oil. We're going to send it out to get tested.
So wait, you're running the oil in it as canola oil, not for a fuel source.
Yes.
Okay. I was trying to figure out which part of that you were using for canola oil. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So the canola oil is the engine oil.
Okay.
So yeah, at the end of it, we're going to send it out to get tested. And then we are figuring out what fluid to fill it with next. We've had a couple suggestions from friction modifier to WD-40 to olive oil from Olive Garden.
Good God.
To baby oil. So we've had a couple different options. So first off, do you think it'll make it 3,000 miles? And then second off, what do you think we should fill it with?
You already said you're almost halfway there.
Well, here's the kicker. Dave has gotten approval for Ethan Hunter to run his Baja as the recce car for Ethan's team at Rally, Colorado. Dave is bolting a Subaru Brat seat into the bed of the truck, and he's going to be riding in the back with a GoPro.
Ace.
So
Can't wait for that.
So the trip to Rally, Colorado and recceing it, it's going to be pretty much at the 3,000 mile mark. So the question is,
Okay.
does it make it back from Rally, Colorado?
Well, I think I honestly, I think at this point that since you've already made it to the halfway point or just about, I'm going to say that it's going to survive.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, if it hasn't died yet, I think you have a highly successful chance here. And I say that only because when it comes to some of Subaru's engineering, and this goes back to what I said earlier with how everybody blames the engines for their failures and they blame head gaskets, they blame everything else except for literally the person that's telling them that the engine is bad. I'm telling you it's maintenance. It's the people maintaining these cars, right? And
100%.
I think it'll last because my tiny little Vivio, funny story, these cars are severely, I think, over-engineered more than people realize. My Vivio has an AMR 300 supercharger on it. If anybody knows, that supercharger is this is larger than my supercharger, right? The whole entire case is like maybe half
Yeah.
this big, right? There's gear oil in the snout for the gears for the blower. It's a Roots type blower. It's supposed to have 4 ounces of supercharger oil in it. I was driving the other week and I was like, I heard this rattly noise and I was like, that's weird. I wonder if my supercharger oil needs replaced. So I expected to pull that off and replace foul smelling supercharger oil. I dumped out 15 milliliters of oil out of the snout. I've been driving this car like a madman for 8,000 miles. I don't know how long it's had no fluid in it.
My God.
And you got to remember the Vivio revs up to 9,000 RPM. And
Yep.
I do that probably daily. So the fact that I pushed that thing with no oil in it tells me, and it still is fine. I put fresh oil in it. It still has a little bit of a rattle, but that's pretty common even in Roots type blowers anyway.
Yeah.
So getting back to that, right? I think that if you've gotten 1,800 miles on canola oil, you're gonna make it to 3.
It's fine.
Now the real question is that it will do it, right? What's it gonna look like when it comes out? That's the real question.
That is true.
Because if it comes out looking like a darker canola oil, cool. But if it comes out looking like, Noax,
No.
yeah, then you might be in some trouble. But also at this point too, you should by now, depending on how it's really working, if it's been breaking down really bad, I would imagine by now that you would be hearing that lovely all the time.
Yeah.
Are you hearing that?
No. Matt was just
No.
knocking on the microphone.
So if you didn't hear any knocking, I think it's okay. Now, what would I run in it to see? Right? I mean, obvious answers are probably completely out the window. We shouldn't go with the obvious, right? Like full on Lucas Oil stabilizer,
Yeah.
because that's meant for that kind of debauchery. So I would have, oh man, I'm trying to think of fluids that I have in the garage right now that would be questionable, but are still technically a lubricant.
Yeah. We are open to any ideas.
Well, I'm curious about the one about WD-40 because, dear Lord, that sounds like a bad idea in a handbasket. Like WD-40 is meant to break down oil and strip away moisture.
It's gonna be super clean inside. It's gonna be.
I really want to do
5 seconds it runs.
olive oil. I really want to do the what is it? Olive Garden
but
olive oil blend.
Yeah, but olive oil and canola oil are pretty similar. I think the viscosity is about the only thing that's going to be different.
Technically, olive oil has a higher flash point, so
okay, so that just means that your engine won't catch on fire internally.
that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Well,
because my employees drive this thing. I want to be very clear.
Well,
I hope my insurance does not watch this podcast because they're gonna raise my insurance rates.
What happened to the engine? I don't know.
All right.
Well, we've had also friction modifier and baby oil. Those are other
God,
options.
baby oil is extremely slick, but I don't think that would maintain. I think that would break down under heat very quickly. Man,
Tell that to P. Diddy.
well, you have to get the heat going first. You have to have
It's all
some
about
there.
friction.
Yeah,
You also have to have that too.
man. I feel like
Is there really much left out there? Did that just hit you there, Dave?
No, this podcast just took the turn it usually does.
I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Oh,
something that can take a lot of heat, like maybe like gear oil, but I mean that's like
yeah, but gear oil. I mean, gear
It's
oil.
too
I mean,
thick.
yeah. I mean, God, you're gonna run 75, 90 in it.
maybe the answer is just 0W8. Just run Toyota
Dear God.
0W8 in it and just see what happens.
I mean,
Watch. That's what blows it, and everyone's like, "All right, that's it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying a car with zero."
yeah, but all the
WA."
other oil that you ran through it wasn't the culprit.
Yeah,
No. It's what kills it. We have to be careful with this. With great power comes great responsibility.
yeah.
If we tell people that canola oil is good, canola oil is good. If we tell people baby oil is good, it's got to be good. Like, we got to stick to our guns here, guys. Come on.
What
So
about ATF?
Ooh, actually, that's a really good one. I haven't
Has
heard that
ATF
one
been
yet.
on your
Yeah.
and
Actually,
I was thinking, and I was actually
like
just
that one.
thinking, there's. I'm trying to remember. I have a bottle of it at my storage unit. It's essentially it's kind of like a friction modifier, but there's an ATF that is really an ATF additive that's really good to run in your Subarus, by the way. That really helps with the automatics that had the hydroelectric center diffs. If you remember those those crazy things. You can buy this stuff at Napa, but it does come in small bottles. But yeah, I would say ATF. Now the question is, do you run the current, like Dexron 4, Dexron 5, or do you go crazy and try to find the old, like Mercon 3?
That led me on a tangent in my mind. What if we just went really out of left field and ran Honda power steering fluid?
But that's ATF.
Kind of, but it's Honda. Remember, it's Honda power steering fluid. So they have the proprietary power steering fluid that you can't put ATF in a Honda.
you think it would run liquid sandpaper?
My God, why? What is wrong with you?
You masochist! God damn it!
That sounds like you want it to blow up instantly.
Hey,
how fast can we file?
Let's
how
keep
fast
in
can
mind,
we file through the rod bearings?
I want to close out on this for anyone who wants to know up to date that Ethan Hunter is going to be running our Baja on canola oil
That's the
recce for Rally, Colorado. It's happening. It's already happening. He's trailering it up. It's going to happen. Yeah.
Did you get your seats yet?
I'm talking to somebody right now, Patrick.
Yes. There we go.
Yes.
Boy.
I need one brat seat to sit in the back. And I even told the guys, like, look, I'm not going to modify your seat. I'm going to make an adapter and it will fit into the back of our Baja and will not be modifying your seat in any way. I'm going to use it.
Damn, if you were closer, I would just give you one of my Vivio seats.
Oh, that would be awesome. Dave,
I need something to sit in the back, though, because it has to be bolted down. And we already have a full E-track system in the back of the Baja. So I can just clip it into that.
Dave, I was at Wicked Big with AJ, and we were looking at this brat for like 10 minutes. And the guy's sitting there watching us. And I was like, I think it bolts like right here. And then it bolts to the roof and the back. And I was like, I think we could definitely strap Dave in this. And the guy was looking at me like I was crazy. And I was like, because I just like in my head, I was trying to visualize how you're going to do it in the Baja. And I was like,
I have a
looking
CNC
at
plasma cutter. We're good. I'll make a bracket.
There you go.
Yeah, so I think your next challenge is ATF. That's my
okay.
ATF.
Okay,
Hey, that's a good one. I haven't actually heard ATF yet, so it's good.
Yes. Me neither. I like that one. Yes, original. ATF actually. Another point. I think ATF honestly might just make, or not might just. I think honestly, I'll go on a limb and say I think ATF would make it another 3,000, and that would just blow people's minds, and then become the next lineage of what next to try. Like
Dave,
we've gone 6,000 miles now. 3,000 on canola oil, 3,000 on ATF. What next?
If ATF can be used to help restore apex seals in an RX-7.
Hey, you're not wrong. We do wet compression tests in the automotive industry with ATF
Correct.
for a reason.
Dave,
Facts.
maybe
Okay.
we take ATF and olive oil from Olive Garden and we just put them together and we put that in
50
the
blend.
engine.
50-50.
Yeah,
We'll do a semi-synthetic blend. There we go. We'll call it a semi-synthetic oil change.
ATF olive.
Oh my God.
Or no, olive ATF.
And
Yeah.
the breadstick a la ATF.
Yeah, I won't lie though. If there's ATF in there, I'm probably not going to dip my bread in the oil because we talked about that. Like, just put a little Italian seasoning in there and just pull the dipstick out and just wipe it on a loaf of bread and just.
Our joke was to have the Olive Garden employees fill it with olive oil, and then
Yes.
when we empty it, we would have a salad on top of the oil bucket and just drop it onto the salad.
Hey, by the way, I've already said off the record, between everyone, if we do this, I'm going to change the oil twice because I really want to flush it out if I'm going to eat a salad from our engine. I want to make sure I flush it a little bit thoroughly. So I'm going to do what I call a double oil change.
You're gonna get rid of all of the vital minerals.
Yeah,
No. I'm saying a double oil change right now or before 2 oil changes, and then I'll run it.
Yeah.
I want to at least like flush out what's in there because we have 1 fresh canola oil change. There's still actually, let's call it a 2%, 5% mix of oil, right?
Okay.
I want to get the actual engine oil out. So I think I should do a double flush if I'm going to actually eat a salad of this thing.
Dave, I know some techs that they would just straight up lick regular oil.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of you having olive oil come out, you might be okay.
I'm gonna not talk about my days of a mechanic, and you go to lunch and your hands are like jet black from grease, and I would just be like,
Yep. Yeah.
That's good enough, and I'd eat my sandwich.
Yep. I have a tech that he's been in the industry like 40 years, but he's worked for us 25 years. And I'll be like, "What is this fluid?" And he'll just be like, yeah, it's burnt ATF." Like, okay. I'm just like, God, like, relax.
No, what would be scarier is if he sees 3 drops of oil on the table and he goes, "It's 5:30. It's 10:30.
Yeah.
Oh, that's at 08 crap."
You know, I thought when I saw 016, we were getting a little crazy. When I saw 08, I was like, you could just go down to.
Why don't we just have 02 at this point?
Yes, you can go to 7-Eleven.
0, it's a 0.
Yeah.
0. What is
no, you can't do 0 because 0 would mean no oil.
Yeah.
What is 0? What is 0?
I don't.
Is 0 water?
Honestly, I've never fully, like, in the 20 some odd years. Well, actually more than that. Yeah. 20 plus years that I've touched cars, been working on them, all that stuff. I have yet to realistically look at oil and go, okay, is that viscosity really going to matter? Does that really make a difference? Because when you had 530 and 540 and 1030 and 1040, it was literally they added wax to it. And it's like, but then half the time I'm looking at these numbers going, wait, what do you mean it goes from a 5 to a 10? Or does it go from 10 to 5? I don't understand how their viscosity.
I understand the multi-viscosity.
Okay. So I just asked ChatGPT what this is because I needed to know.
God.
In practical terms, 0W0 doesn't currently exist, but
oh God,
these ratings are based on typical viscosity at 100 degrees Celsius. So 0W0 is not defined, but potentially could be defined if they could figure out what it would be at 100 degrees Celsius. It would be thinner than 0W8 operating temperature, very close to the viscosity of automatic transmission fluid or some hydraulic fluids.
So we're getting to the point where you could run your car on freaking ATF.
Yep.
So there you go. You're going to run that thing on ATF forever, Dave.
It says it's difficult to use in conventional engines because maintaining bearing protection would become very challenging.
Well, maybe they should stop making oil so thin.
Oh my gosh. It says that Honda and Toyota have joined together to run 0W8 for fuel economy.
See, and that's the thing, right? Like they keep changing these oils and they keep making them thinner and thinner and thinner, but yet somehow they want to maintain their engines longer. Like that's great that you can run a super thin oil, but how long does that engine last?
Get this. It says Toyota has determined that if they can get to 0W8, that it would save them 0.1 miles per gallon.
That's our problem, guys. We'll close it. We should close on that. It's the race for fuel efficiency.
Yeah, but CAFE standards have made it so that you don't need fuel efficiency.
It says that we are
bigger.
It says we are right on the cusp of 0W4.
My God, why?
I'll
You know what?
0W0.
You know what,
08. It's 08. It's straight 08. Fuck it.
If they're really concerned about mileage, right? They need to stop putting so many holes in the cars.
Yeah.
They need to block everything off, and they need to do that hypermiling stuff. We need to go back to putting wheel covers on that completely encase the wheel.
The Honda Insight.
Yes. Have you ever seen some of the hypermiling? You ever seen
Yeah.
some of those cars?
They're crazy.
Yeah.
And they're running 5W30 motor oil. What do you know? It's because I don't need to run 08. I just hypermile.
But what if they run U8? I don't know. Maybe.
My God, they
Maybe
might
that's-
get
maybe that's the formula.
0.003 miles per gallon, according to ChatGPT.
They might.
Yeah.
They might get to go an extra mile on that tank of fuel.
God. I just can't. This is ridiculous.
So we've crashed.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a good spot for us to break down this episode. Matt, I cannot thank you enough for coming on, man. This has been
Dude,
amazing.
likewise.
Thanks for having me on.
Cannot believe we were feet away from each other at Snowdrift.
You know, it's such a small world, dude. And but at the end of the day, I love being able to bring that small world together and make it bigger.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I think Dave and I can both say we fully support your mission here. I think that it's awesome to bring people to the sport and to get these events more viewers and more fans and keep everything exciting. And I think that it really leads to a great future for the ARA. So
100%.
I think everybody appreciates the work that you're doing. And
Thank you.
and yeah, man, I
Do
really
my
look forward to hopefully meeting you at STPR in person.
Yeah,
And,
I'm going to do my best to get there. Hopefully I can deconflict my schedule a little bit. Best chance, if worst case scenario, I make it there Saturday.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
we'll definitely have to link up.
I'm working it out with Rally Sport Direct. They're coming down, so I'm going to be hanging out with Jeff, and we're going to be definitely repping the OK Rally cars. So it'll be
Nice.
awesome, man. I'll be excited to come in and support it, and then we'll get to hear at that point how Rally Colorado went for Dave. So,
There we go. Can't wait.
You'll get to see it. You'll get to see it firsthand.
That I'm excited for. I'm
Yeah.
interested
Ethan
to
and I
see how that
have
goes.
some big plans.
yeah. Well, again, man, I can't thank you enough, and we will see you guys on the next episode.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.
You got it.
That wraps up an incredible two-part sit-down with Matt Gold from Drop a Gear Industries. Massive shout out to Matt for hanging out with us, sharing the story, and keeping it completely real. Make sure you guys go follow Drop a Gear, check out what they're building, and support the brands keeping car culture alive. You can find the Wave Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your audio fix. Hit that subscribe button, leave us a review. It massively helps the show. Keep moving, keep driving, and we'll catch you on the next wave. Peace.